Hi everyone, welcome to the webinar. I hope you can see me and you can hear me clearly. Just confirm in the chat box. Okay, so I see people are confirming that they can see me and they can hear me. So let's start. So today's topic is a new one, blue ocean careers. You might have heard about it, or you might have not heard about it, but this is relatively a new topic. And actually, this is the one I have created a framework for the career management and career planning. So career management is a topic which is very dear to my heart. I've gone through a long career myself, and during that long career I have seen a lot of ups and downs, and those ups and downs have given me the opportunity to experience it firsthand myself. And based on that, I developed the passion to really help other professionals with my experiences and all other things happening around, so they could really manage their career better. So on the positive side, I have been quite successful, I would say, in my career. For those of you who do not know me, my name is Salim Sufi. I'm originally from Pakistan. I started my career. I was born and grown up in Pakistan, and I started my career in Pakistan. Then, working for a multinational company, I got the opportunity to have two international relocations. So that is why I got into USA. But at the same time, not the same time, around those time, I also have some setbacks. And my setback was that I got fired at the peak of my career. And that completely changed my career and changed my life, because that was such a big shock. So first part of my career, first half of my career was a typical pattern, like a younger professional working hard, trying to make progress. But the second half, which was after I got fired, was completely different, because I changed my mindset. The shock I went through that firing changed my mindset, changed my mindset completely. And then it was a very different story, and that is where I really learned a lot about how to manage one's career. So you don't have to get fired to learn all those things. After that, I thought that maybe I could really benefit younger professionals from my experience, and this is what I have been doing. So I was in corporate until 2014, and then I decided that enough is enough, and I get out of the corporate and started my Mega CFO Academy. So it's almost 10 years, more than 10 years I'm doing this. And today's webinar is also part of that series, that wherever I have some new ideas or some ideas which I think that could benefit professionals like you, I try to offer it through a free session or free webinar, so as many people as possible could really benefit from it. So this is a little preamble, and today's topic is a relatively new one. Blue ocean careers, as I said, that you might have not heard about it. But what I realized while teaching and learning a strategy, and I think many of you are also very familiar with this topic of blue ocean strategy. So while going through that blue ocean strategy, I realized that this framework is not only applicable to the businesses, but we could also apply it into our personal life and specifically to our careers. And then my thought progressed, and I started to try to create a framework around that. So now I have a framework called the Blue Ocean Careers, or Blue Ocean Career Path, mainly directed to the C-suite roles and opportunities. So this is what I'm going to share with you today. And I see many people have joined. So let me switch to my slides so I could speak with some more focus and structure. And I have several options. I'm trying which one is better. So probably this one. My video on the side. Okay, it's hiding some part of the slide. So let me get back to, I'll keep coming back and forth. Okay. So this is the title slide I created to really introduce people that what I'm going to talk about. And as you can see, the main purpose here is really to differentiate. So in strategy, one of the lessons we learned, one of the main lessons we learned for businesses to be successful is to be different. Strategy is all about differentiation, not really copying the most successful company, but try to be different or differentiated. And that is how they see more successes. And the same rule or same principle applies for the professionals, that how could you be different, not being part of the crowd like everybody else is doing, and you become part of the crowd and your chances of success significantly diluted. So you try to be differentiated. That's the main spirit or the main principles we are going to learn in this framework. So let's briefly talk about the environment, what is happening around us right now. So of course, everybody is observing a very fast paced automation taking place, and that automation is changing everything in our life, in our career, in our other areas of life. So that's one thing. Because of that, because of the very rapid automation, especially the AI, the jobs are being redefined, the roles are being redefined. Every business is going through those changes. And of course, when those changes are made by businesses, that's also impact us as an individual professional. So it's a lot of uncertainty. It's not really very clear that what roles are going to survive, what roles would not survive, or they would be eliminated. And there, that confusion also extends to the skill set, that what skill set is really relevant. Now, on the positive side, there is a lot of opportunity available for learning. But look, if you just start learning any skills without much plan or thought, you might be wasting your time. So it's not about learning only, it's about what you want to learn, because your time is really limited. And based on the automation and AI, businesses are experiencing a very positive trend of significant productivity improvement. So productivity is skyrocketing, and more decisions are based on data, because data is becoming more and more available in more refined forms. The businesses are able to make good decisions. And then on the supply side of the talent, the gig economy is coming very fast. The roles are really becoming much more flexible. Hybrid work is quite common nowadays, and organizations are resorted to more and more agile workforce or flexible work models. So that is what we are observing very clearly in every area of business uh, and work. On the talent demand and supply, so with that change going on, I think layoffs are not one-time phenomena. Lays off have become an ongoing reality, which means that anybody could really face that situation, that they are fired, and it may not be their fault, but because of the economic situation and the technology and all those changes going on, it's very common. So that's one phenomena which has become a ongoing reality. And based on that, of course, there are more and more job seekers always chasing some few number of positions. But talent supply, if you look closely, especially for the senior roles, one very interesting trend which is happening, that of course, if someone is a job seeker and they're trying to find a role, they are struggling, because there is a for one position announced on LinkedIn, there are thousands applicant within 24 hours. So with that trend, it looks like that even getting a job interview is a matter of getting a lottery. So with that situation, many people are quite disappointed, and many times people notice, unfortunately, that even those positions which have been posted or advertised are really not the real one. That someone has already been hired, or those positions are announced or posted just for the sake of formality. So that's really created more frustration and disappointment. So businesses, as a general trend, especially for the senior roles, businesses are not making posting on the job boards anymore for those senior roles. Senior roles are only hired mainly by recruiters or networking or employee referrals. So that's a very common trend, which means that based on very careful estimates, about 80 to 90% of the jobs in senior category are actually hidden jobs, which means that they are not posted, but those jobs are open somewhere. And most of the job seekers do not have access to those jobs. So many people are experiencing job disruption, because once they lose the job, it's not easy to get in a short period of time. And there are many examples where people, not only the job disruption, experiencing career disruption. Career disruption is something that they have to really, because they could not find a job in their category, so they have to do something else. And that basically a career change or career disruption for them. So that is also quite common. So the job market, especially for the professionals who are seeking new positions, is highly competitive. It's highly competitive because businesses are very careful. First of all, because of the automation and AI, they don't need that many people as they hired in the past. So they need less people, and on the less people, they need more competent and more qualified or more higher level employees. So as everybody understands that automation is taking care of the routine jobs, which means we don't need those employees as many as we had in the past to do those routine jobs, but we need high level of high caliber jobs. So there would be more demand on those senior roles and less demand for the low skilled jobs. So Of course, high demand for soft skills and attitude as well, because another thing which is becoming very clear, that with the AI technology available, probably we don't need that low level of task for someone to do, but we need people with specialization in the unique human talent, like problem solving, like judgment, like emotional intelligence, like collaboration, like teamwork. So those skills are increasing in demand. But technology is everywhere. Technology is no more limited to few people. So you must have some digital acumen to be even qualified for or considered for any job whatsoever. And talent, one of the other thing which is very important is also their ability to upskill and reskill. So businesses are not expecting to really hire and rehire every time there is one skill become obsolete or some new skills are there. They want the people to be talented enough to really learn and unlearn themselves. So that's another, like flexibility or adaptability is also a skill very much high in demand. So experience does not matter much. What really matters, what are your skills? Because related to the technology or new technology, there may not be many skilled people available because it's a new technology, but it is their ability to learn and relearn which make them capable and qualified for those jobs, requiring those skills. So on the again, we are here, most of you are here, the professionals, the working professionals. So we are trying to focus here more from the supply point of view, not from the demand point of view. Of course, we need to understand the demand, but more from supply point of view, what are the challenges? So why many professionals are struggling is because that they are all trying to do the same thing. It's undisputed reality that there are few jobs which are being chased by thousands of potential candidates. So in that scenario, as I said, that many times it becomes a matter of just winning a lottery. That should not be the case. So they are looking for the same titles, same credentials, and they are looking at the same job boards actually, which is not really helping them to make any progress. So related to the framework, we are going to talk about Blue Ocean. So in Blue Ocean philosophy, we identified two oceans. One is the red ocean and one is the blue ocean. Red ocean, we call the place where a lot of people are fighting with each other or competing with each other for few resources. So that's red ocean. So most of professionals or the job seekers are basically in the red oceans. And finance, especially, if we look at that, it's significantly going through changes and roles are changing, positions are changing, but career path looks like more or less the same. So that is where the an average professional really need to learn a lot to ensure that they have a successful career going forward. Few statistics. LinkedIn last year mentioned that 85% of the professionals feel that they are stuck in their mid-career, especially mid-career jobs. They are stuck, 85%. Think of this. 60% of finance jobs will change or vanish by 2030. That's World Economic Forum. And then AI automation and cross-functional roles are basically reshaping expectation. So functional boundaries are going down, which means that it's no more a luxury for finance professionals to sit in the isolation within the boundaries of their department and do the work. They have to get out because really there is not much work available within the department. The work is available outside the department, cross-functional. So you need to be ready for that. So what the general approach, now again, this is not for the job seekers only, this webinar is for every professional because you are going to face this situation whether you are employed or not. So it's good that you are employed now, but as I said earlier, that it could be situation with anyone that they don't have a job and they have to go through that process. So try to reset your mindset with the career management or career planning. It is not about your job. In this situation, what I'm going to share with you, you basically need to think that as if you are starting a new career or you are relaunching your career. And more of the things are easy because they are part of your mindset. If you change your mindset, you will see a different world with different or more opportunities. So, in any situation, we all know that everybody is not a leader. Leaders are only 5 to 10%. So, think yourself where you want to be. You want to be part of the laggards or you want to be part of the leaders? Now, as I said, that everybody cannot be leader, but everybody can be a laggard. So, if you are a laggard, you are in the red ocean. If you are a leader, you are in the blue ocean. And one more thing about the blue ocean or the being a leader is that you have less competition because most of your competitors are among the leaders. They are not competing with you. So if you are part of the 5 to 10%, good news. You have less competition and more opportunities. You might have heard about this company called Apple. And Apple is probably, in my opinion, is the company which has the best business model in the history of business. And Apple is also the company which has most successfully utilized the blue ocean framework. So I'll try to explain with the help of Apple, and then we'll try to relate it to your career. So if you remember the times around 2005, 2006, the mobile phone market was like this. It was overcrowded with all types and shapes and variety of mobile phones. And every company which has to do anything with the electronics or electrical or consumer products were making some sort of mobile phones. Nobody ever thought that you need another brand or another type of phone in this market. So you could see two ruling brands were Nokia and BlackBerry here. BlackBerry was considered a high scale luxury or high end product used by corporate professionals, and Nokia was the common man's toy. But Apple came in 2006 and changed everything, and rest is history. So how did it happen? How Apple was able to really break through this crowded, congested market and make its and become the market leader? So this is called blue ocean strategy. And the way it is described, how to create uncontested market space and make the competition irrelevant. Now, this is really a very bold statement. And it may not be 100% exactly true, but quite a great extent, this is true. This is what Apple has done. And we all know that BlackBerry is no more. A lot of other brands are no more. Nokia is there in a very limited capacity. And Apple, as the first mover in the marketplace, is still the market leader, and Samsung also as a follower, quite in good shape. So, in the basic philosophy of red ocean and blue ocean is that blue ocean is a space where there is not much competition. You have a lot of people are competing with each other in the red ocean, and those people cannot see the blue ocean, so they are still trying to compete here and not making much success. And in the blue ocean, whoever is able to reach, they basically take the advantage of being a leader. So what is blue ocean? Blue ocean, as I said, that it's red ocean which is competing in the existing space. So if you look around, everywhere there is a lot of competition going on. That's red space. Blue ocean, creating an uncontested space, which means that that space may not be available or may not be visible. So it's upon the business to really find out that space or try to create an uncontested space so it becomes blue ocean for them. Three principles for blue ocean to be succeed. Value innovation, which means that you create more value for the customers. And there is a framework I'll explain shortly, which is called the ERRC grid or framework. Eliminate, reduce, raise, create. Now, these are for products and businesses, but you will see that we can also do for our careers and our jobs. And shift focus from competitors to value. Rather than competing, You focus, try and create value for your customers, right? So that's in a nutshell, that's the Blue Ocean strategy framework is. And this is a slide which basically shows some comparison. So Red Ocean, of course in red, blue, of course in blue. But look, in Red Ocean, competing in existing marketplace, create uncontested marketplace, beat the competition, make the competition irrelevant, exploit existing demand, create and capture new demand, make the value cost trade-off, break the value cost trade-off. So you will be wondering that, okay, I understand this business philosophy, but what do I have to do with this to manage my career? Well, think of this. If this is compete in existing marketplace, take the job market. What if there is uncontested job market? There are no other candidate or very few candidate. How would you feel about yourself? Beat the competition. There are no other candidates to beat. You are among the very few who are being hired. Exploiting existing demand, which means there are few positions, create and capture new demand. So you identify or you create those opportunities for you. So that is how this framework becomes fully applicable. And I'll explain to you how you could do that. So don't worry about that. But try to understand the basic concept, basic framework that completely changing the situation in your favor. And that was the reason that in a situation like 2005, 2006 mobile phone market, Apple extremely successfully changed that marketplace. And this is a framework. Don't much worry about going to the details. This is a framework which is called the 4-action framework or ERRC framework, which says eliminate, reduce, raise, create. And I'll explain to you how do you do that. Okay, so with iPhone, what Apple did, let me explain to you so you could understand the basic framework of Blue Ocean. We said it's called ERRC, which means eliminate. So they look at the mobile phone at that time, Apple, and say that the idea is that based on the market convention, what products are available to the customer or consumer may not really be required. Consumer may not be using all the functions. So how could we optimize the offer? And in optimization, you see what features I could eliminate, what features I can reduce, what features I can create, and what features I can raise. That's very simple and straightforward, right? This is what Apple did. So it started to look at the existing available mobile phone at that time, and they look at the BlackBerry and other phone and say there is a mechanical keyboard. Why do we need mechanical keyboard? We could create a virtual keyboard. Today, everybody uses virtual keyboard. And for those people who are younger, who have not seen phones like BlackBerry, they would be wondering then why there is even talk of a mechanical keyboard, because you always use virtual. Well, that was a part of the changeover. So Apple took the courage. No other brand was courageous enough to make that change, but Apple did that. And then custom colors, variety. There used to be devices which have a stylus to write on it. So they eliminate all those things, considering that they were not necessary. And what they reduced? Bells and whistles. There used to be too many buttons, too many controls, too many functionality. And there were requirement to really carry multiple devices, like there were like a digital diary, and then phone, and then some other devices. And user interface was very complicated, so complicated that people in the category of the, for example, seniors and young kids were even not able to handle it. But what did they create that basically revolutionized this industry? They brought apps. Now, before Apple, there was no concept of having apps on the phone. Now, think of this in today's context. What if all the apps are removed from your phone? You would find it very extremely least useful because you run on apps. So apps basically significantly enhance the value. Sleek design, very straightforward. And I remember that when I looked first time iPhone, I was wondering how to operate it because there was no button. And then they also brought internet to the phone. Before that, it was not very common. There used to be some connections available, but they were not very useful or workable. So they brought internet to a level that you don't need a PC or laptop to do your work. In terms of raising the features, camera. So there used to be camera in the older phones, but those cameras were very weak. Apple made it significantly powerful, so powerful that today you don't see digital camera industry. It's all gone. The iPhone camera or the other smartphone today are so powerful, people don't need digital cameras except for the professionals. High speed processors, they made all these things happen. Screen size, they optimize it. Like what you need physically on those phones are basically the screen to see the numbers or see the pictures or the videos. And cameras, not only that, it eliminated the digital camera industry, but also the camcorders, consumer camcorders, they were also gone. So with these changes, with this ERRC framework, Apple was able to really revolutionize this industry. And what happened afterwards, it's all part of the history. So with this framework, if we apply to our careers, what you could do, that's what I'm going to talk about. And this called the value chart, which basically another tool to understand that what features could be eliminated, what features could be added. So it's eliminate, reduce, raise, create. This is again for iPhone. And you can see that what they have reduced. So blue line is for iPhone. Orange line is for smartphones and red line is for other phones. So you could really compare what they are eliminating, what they are adding. Bottom line is that consumers find this optimization very, very useful because they were anyway not using all those features which were reduced or eliminated. Okay, so how do you apply Blue Ocean to career strategy? So as I said, the basic principle is compete less, differentiate more. Rather than there are other professionals offering the same qualification, experience, skill set, think of this. How could you differentiate? How could you make your skill a combination of the unique talent available in the marketplace? So that's one thing. Then create new value beyond your job title. Now you need to really think openly, out of box. It's not about your job title, and you're not limited by your job title. Especially in finance, we have the unique advantage of really getting involved in anything. Nobody would stop you. So think beyond your title. What you could get involved, and employer would see that value. Employer doesn't mind that if you're doing additional work beyond your job title, and if it creates value for the business, they would consider you a value creating employees. And position yourself, no one else is playing in the area, no one else is playing. So many times people see that, look, this is not my job, or this is not the area I want to get involved. Think again. We are talking about out of the box thinking. Only see from a point of view that whether it's creating value for the business or not creating value for the business. When I was financial controller, I get involved into the strategy at that time. Nobody stopped me because I was creating value. There was no actual work on my desk about a strategy. I started to teach a strategy to other people in the department or in the organization. People saw that as value creating. And use strategy tools for personal transformation. I'll talk about it in a second. So here are a few examples. How to create uncontested market space. So traditional thinking is that compete for the same promotions, roles, and certification which are required in the market. Blue Ocean mindset is that reframe your career trajectory to build a unique leadership identity no one else is offering. For example, now this is a great opportunity, hybrid roles in finance. Combine finance with strategic disciplines like digital, artificial intelligence, storytelling, product, all are in very much demand. So without really changing your function, that you are getting transferred to marketing or some IT, you remain in your current role, but try to develop your expertise in digital, AI, or storytelling is very much in high demand. And then you become you have a unique combination of the talent. People will see you differently if you could demonstrate above average knowledge of the digital and AI and storytelling or any other field. So that's a big opportunity available in every organization. Create a unique niche like digital CFO, customer centric FP&A. So you also need to do a little bit marketing. Not only that you learn something on a special field and combine it with the with finance function, but you also try to use some phrases to signify what you are offering. For example, in my career, at that time, manufacturing was in much demand. People with the in finance with the manufacturing background. I started to write on my resume on the top label or the header of my resume. I used to write strategic manufacturing CFO, strategic manufacturing CFO, and what I was offering a combination of strategy knowledge and expertise, manufacturing knowledge and expertise, and of course finance. Now I got 3 CFO level job offers simply because of that they saw me a combination of manufacturing and CFO. Because not every CFO has the manufacturing background, or even if the background, they couldn't really explain and demonstrate that they are an expert in manufacturing. I did, and I got 3 CFO level offers simply because of the manufacturing and finance combination. And one more thing, I also had experience on the SAP. So I used to say that SAP, manufacturing, and CFO, that was my unique brand. And on that unique brand, 3 companies offered me CFO level. All 3 have manufacturing, all 3 have SAP, and that was the reason they hired me. So look what opportunities are available to you to develop a unique combination of your talent. Make the competition irrelevant. So don't fight for the traditional CFO pipeline. There are other people who are looking for that CFO role, and you're also looking for the CFO role. What is your unique attributes? What are your unique offer? And unique offer could be, again, another thing which is easily available to finance people, cross-functional transformation initiative. Can you work with outside finance people? Do you understand what does it make to really work with the supply chain or the IT or manufacturing? And cross-functional, do you see how to create value for the cross-functional projects? That's another big opportunity. And on top of it, don't think that you are confined within the local organization. You need to, today, world is very transparent. Your boss sees your LinkedIn profile, and you see your boss' LinkedIn profile. Similarly, other people see your profile, and other people notice changes in your profile. So don't undermine those opportunities. You need to be very active on LinkedIn. 95% of hiring takes place on LinkedIn. Your future boss or bosses probably already there on LinkedIn. So you need to make your presence visible on LinkedIn, right? And not only presence, you need to demonstrate your qualification, you need to demonstrate your talent. Start writing on LinkedIn. Thought leadership is the most powerful branding approach. If you want to promote your personal brand, start becoming a thought leader in the area where you feel you have some expertise, and keep developing that knowledge. And again, don't think that you are made or created for finance function only. There are many examples where finance people took responsibilities outside finance and they were very successful. As a matter of fact, I could share my personal experience. I think I have been teaching strategy to finance professionals now for 10 years. I could tell you that the pace with which finance professionals learn strategy is much faster, much better than the MBA students in Harvard learn strategy slowly, and the finance professionals learn strategy faster. Why? Because You, first of all, you have a finance background, which makes it very easy to connect the numbers, to connect the dots, to look the bottom line immediately. Number one. Number two, with your experience, like already spending 10, 15 years in the corporate, and you want to learn strategy, you learn very quickly because you are able to relate back. You say, yeah, I have now learned the framework of business model, but I have seen that business model in working for the last 10 years. Or you see even blue ocean strategy, you look at that framework and you say, yeah, I could now relate it, that it has been happening in my business or other businesses for several years. So those are the opportunities for you, that you try to learn things outside finance, or even look for the special roles. Nowadays, there is a lot of, as we observe that the gig economy is expanding, not necessarily that you have full-time traditional role. There could be interim roles. There could be advisory roles. What about becoming a fractional expert, that you not only work for one company, you work for several companies at the same time? It's okay. It's acceptable. There are people at some point of time in their career, they decide that, look, I have learned a lot, and I know several industry, I could serve multiple businesses, and they start a consultancy or an independent consulting business, and they work with one company, or they work with, or even you could, without really establishing a formal consultancy, you could offer yourself that, look, I'm available for 2 hours a week or 5 hours a week, and that is how you could serve multiple organizations. You will have a diverse experience, enrich experience, and people will give you more. Hopefully you will earn more than what you could earn in one job. So how does blue ocean framework works? First of all, try to discover your sweet spot. What is your sweet spot? If you have not done a personal SWOT analysis, do it immediately. Not immediately, do it as at your first priority, and spend some quality time. So you could find out that based on your strengths, your weaknesses, the opportunities around you, the threats around you, what is the best option for you available? You need to understand that. Number two, try to map your value curve, where you have more value to create. Again, the same like 4 action chart, ERRC. What from your talent portfolio, what you need to eliminate, what you need to raise, what you need to add, what you need to eliminate, so that you could optimize your value creation capability based on your skills. And then design your unique offering. Make it easier for other people to understand what you're offering. Build your visibility platform, not only in the internal organization, but outside, how visible you are in your industry or in your professional forums or among the community you interact. So, discover part number one is identify your strengths, identify your purpose, where you have gaps, or how could you fill that. Personal SWOT is a very powerful tool. Then map the value curve. Again, eliminate, reduce, raise, create. Look at your talent, look at your skills. And not necessarily that if you have learned something, uh, and you feel that that has to be utilized, not necessarily. If there is no more market value, then you can forget about it. Learn something new. Learn something new which is in demand, and try to increase or optimize this value curve or value grid or value graph. That would tell you where do you stand from a market point of view, and try to differentiate again. If you have learned something about the how to help finance with chat gpt or other AI tools, try to develop your expertise to a mastery level. Add that in your resume as your skill or your talent. So 4 action framework, how do you do that? Eliminate low value activities like excessive reporting, unproductive meetings. You need to identify yourself where you are wasting your time. Try to reduce them as much as, eliminate them as much as possible. Reduce time spent on pure compliance reporting. Well, this is no more in demand. Now, you may have to do it because it's required, but don't try to spend too much time. Don't try to really take that, think that that's a good experience for you going forward. Try to delegate it if you can, and try to minimize it if you can. But those work do not have much value. Raise strategic involvement. If you have a chance to really sit with a strategy meeting, do that. Exposure to CXOs or C-level executives, visibility on transformation initiative, jump on it. If there is opportunity on any project, cross-functional or transformation, jump on it, because that would be the experience which really pay off very well for the rest of your career. Personal brand, again, as I said, very powerful. You need to establish your thought leadership. That's the best way to project your personal brand. Identify few topics you are expert, and then learn as much as you can, and then show it as your thought leadership or personal brand or main expertise. Design your unique offering. So you need to also develop a career story that wherever you, this is equivalent, not equivalent, but this is something like elevator pitch, that you could talk about it, but you need to work very seriously about your career storytelling. Like I explained my career in the beginning of the session, that look, I have a fantastic career, but there were setbacks, there were successes. I got international relocation, I got fired, but I then learned again. Then I got 3 CFOs offers. That's your career story, which is very relevant. Well, that's the best way you could influence other people to consider you for some any opportunity. Problem solving position. What problem you could solve? You have to be a problem solver. So what problems you could solve? Make a tagline on your resume. I can solve problems related to this. I have solved problem before like this. Build visibility. LinkedIn branding, thought leadership. Don't undermine LinkedIn. 1 billion professionals are there. You need to be there actively. I'm sorry, some alarms goes on. So you need to, folks, give me a second. Sorry for the interruption. So LinkedIn is a big bet. And not only LinkedIn, so LinkedIn is for external positioning and then internal advocacy. Do you have people who really admire? There are people who could really speak on your behalf. That's part of this framework. And then once you are very clear about it, then prototype and iterate, which means that you need to uh, offer yourself for those roles and work on those projects and try to get feedback. Now, regarding the new openings, where it would come from. So, open jobs, as I said, that senior role especially, there are not many open jobs available publicly. You need to really develop a strategy to how to reach those hidden jobs, which are 80 to 90%, because that is where your level of positions are available. So try 2 ways. Again, first of all, networking, active networking, career networking, and also, do you have a few people at the CEO level or the board level or at the senior level where you could get some help? And those people, not necessarily they have positions in their organization, they are very resourceful and they could refer you to some other positions. Whenever you have an opportunity to solve any specific strategic problem, uh, jump on it. And on your resume, you should add that. For example, uh, if you are a controller or if you are a senior level finance manager and you're trying to move to a CFO level position, try to identify few projects which you have done at the CFO level. So you're not a CFO, but you could demonstrate that I have done these jobs which are at the CFO level. So you get some good credibility because of that. And you could also get some references and testimonials from other people who would vouch that you have the CFO level caliber. So there are a lot of ways and means. If you are not yet CFO, to move to the CFO level, you could use those tactics. How to sequence your career strategy like a product launch. So look, let me take a pause here. I have been saying very often to people like you that look, all of you are entrepreneurs. You are entrepreneurs who are in the business of selling your talent. And you must have heard about the entrepreneurial mindset. How much value, how much respect is there for entrepreneurial mindset? So if you can think like an entrepreneur, you are an entrepreneur because you are selling your talent. So if you develop that mindset, things become a lot more easier because you would think your business like a typical business, like you have products. In this case, you have skills and talents. How could you offer more value? You have only two basic functions. If you are an entrepreneur, you have two basic functions. Keep developing your talent, trying to create more value for your customers and keep selling that talent. That's it. So in this case, comparing the Blue Ocean framework with your talent, what unmet needs can you solve in your next role? When I used to, when I was actively involved in my career, if I join a new position, I would already identify what would be my next role 3 years from now. And then I would make a plan that during these 3 years, I'm working on this position. How do I develop myself for that role? Not only doing the work, but finding out opportunities, finding out areas where I could also keep developing myself. So in 3 years, I'm ready for that role. And what things you are doing, value creating thing, is that visible to your employer? Does employer value that? Can you deliver high value without redeeming, without needing massive resources? Make it easier for your employer. And are you overcoming your perceptions, gaps, or blind spots in your brand? So people see that you are a rising star. So how do we use this 4 action framework for career management? So here is the ERRC framework, right? And this is for the career management. What you eliminate. So in career management, especially in job search, cover letter, nobody cares about cover letters. Job boards are useless nowadays. Advertising jobs are no more there. Job seeker image. Don't call yourself job seeker. If you are seeking job, if you are searching for a job, never call yourself job seeker or never put on your LinkedIn profile or resume that you are actively searching. That's not considered something recruiters are looking for. Recruiters and employment manager or hiring manager want to hire people who are not looking for jobs. That's unfortunate, but that's a reality. Reduce. What you could reduce? Experience, degree, certification. These are not as popular as used to be. So you can reduce the emphasis on it. Reduce the emphasis on your experience or degree or certification and create more elevator pitch, communication skills, online visibility, and selective networking. These are the activities you need to really enhance significantly or create if they are not existing. And you need to raise emphasis on business acumen, digital acumen, industry networking, personal brand. So think yourself that compared to these conventional traditional areas, how much time you are spending in these things which are in demand, create and raise. That's for the career management. If you have to do on your talent profile, on the talent profile, eliminate accounting, auditing, reporting. Again, these may be good skills, but they are not no more in demand. So you could eliminate, or you could just put it on the side. What you need to reduce also degrees, experience, certification. As I said, they're not very sexy nowadays. So you need to also sideline them. But what is important, create strategy knowledge, leadership skills, technology awareness, personal brand. You need to create those things if they are not there. You need to raise business acumen, communication, digital literacy, networking. Now, this is obvious. I think all of you understand what need to be eliminated, what need to be reduced, what need to be created, what need to be raised. But it's not simply related to your understanding. You need to make actions. You need to take actions to really make it happen. And so much so that it's become visible to other people. Okay, so I would like to take a pause here and see if there are questions I could address. So let me go. I'm trying to look at the question box. Okay. Not finding any questions yet. Someone is saying 22 years in one organization and then got fired. Well, you are blessed. If you are fired, you are blessed, because that it's a blessing in disguise, because it will completely change your mindset, and then you do things much better than before. Okay, I don't see many questions. Facing issues in streaming. How? Okay, how to insert in ICAP professional. The ACCA is also a professional and internationally recognized certification. I'm not sure what's the question here. Both are good qualification. If you have ICAP CA and ACCA, you can proudly list it. I think it would be considered as your additional talent. We are hiding mostly LinkedIn work. Yeah. No, okay. I take it as a question. Many professionals think that if they really highlight or really project their LinkedIn profile, their employer would not like it. It used to be, but no more. It is your professional right to create a very powerful profile on LinkedIn and keep updating it. And if anybody make objections, explain why are you doing it. There are all the good reasons. Your life is not limited with your current employer. You have a career, you have a profession, long profession, and you need to show your presence. It's like that you get an employment and they restrict you to really show your face or show your name. You become a slave. Now it's your choice. Now, I'm not sure. There might be some companies or few companies in very conservative, undeveloped areas where employer could think like that. But I think a lot has changed. In 2025, I don't expect that employer would have a limitation, restriction like that. So probably it is in your mind. So please rescue yourself from that. Give yourself freedom, because your future would depend upon that. How do you present yourself to the world? Okay, I'm applying in LinkedIn, but didn't get any interview call. 99% hiring through reference is also have experience in it. So again, LinkedIn is a job board. And as I said, that once a good position is posted, within 24 hours, there are thousands of applicants are there. I don't know whether the recruiters or hiring manager have that much time to really go through 1,000 resumes. So it's hard to find the real positions. I think again that 70-80% roles are somewhere in the networks. So you need to rely more on. I'm not saying that you get rid of the LinkedIn. Keep trying, but I don't see there are much chances based on the statistics. attractive title, strategic manufacturing CFO. Yeah, it's really up to your level of creativity. How do you create? Look, again, another tip, career tip. Don't limit yourself to the official title given to you. So you say, for example, if you are a finance director and you are doing a CFO role, or let's say you are a head of finance and you are doing a CFO level work, on resume, it's okay to say that you are a CFO because functionally you are a CFO. You are not, your official title may not be CFO, but if you are doing a work of CFO, as a functional responsibility, you could say that I do the work of CFO. That's why I called myself CFO. Uh, I used to do that when I was finance director, and nobody ever objected to it. And I see that other people doing that. I never had any setbacks because of that. It's your confidence. So criteria is that if you feel confident, you are a head of finance, but you don't have confidence to say you are CFO, or although you are doing the work of CFO, don't say that. So do that. More important is your confidence. If you could confidently say that yes, I'm a head of finance by designation, but I do all the work like a CFO, then it's okay if you could say that with confidence. Okay, can't hear you. I don't know. Okay. Uh, Believe me, in speech and in reality, hiring managers have a lot of difference. Yes, you're right. All type of people are there. It's a good time to search a job in case you're okay. I'm in operations management, and how can I increase my knowledge in finance? I'm not sure about your title. If you're officially in finance, officially in operations, and you want to move to finance, I'm not sure. But it's a good idea to create a hybrid knowledge. So you can always learn finance through a lot of free stuff available on the internet. Start there. And then more importantly, try to offer that knowledge that, look, I have some finance knowledge. If is there any project I could work which requires some knowledge, I can do that. You need to make an offer. It doesn't happen that your CEO comes with an appointment letter that you are being promoted to the chief strategy officer. That never happens. You need to take initiative. You need to get involved. You need to prove that you can do the job, and then show your desire that you want to be promoted or you want to work in that position. Two international locations. I was very clear, very bold, very aggressive in telling my management, I want a relocation. And then I demonstrated that I'm capable of doing that. And finally I got the relocation. So you need to intention your desire, then express it, and then prove it that you are a deserving candidate for that. If someone has experience of modern AI skills, should we focus on personal brand positioning? And if the current employer doesn't offer opportunities which may leverage newly learned digital skills, how to project them using LinkedIn? You need to do a SWOT analysis, and you need to identify what is the sweet spot for you. How do you want to project your brand? How do you want to position? If it is not aligning with your current job, it's okay. That's not a limitation. You can always show that talent or a skill on LinkedIn, or even talk about it in your organization that you have learned that talent. I mean, many people who do the CFO program with me, some very few are hesitant or reluctant to tell this to your boss. That as if my boss is already CFO, if I tell him that I'm doing a CFO program, he might think that I will take his position. It might be thinking of the person, but you need to rescue yourself. You need to really, I would say that many times it is appreciated that you are learning, you have a learning aptitude, and you want to learn these things. Of course, you don't need to become a threat to your boss. It's all depending upon your relationship. But I think most of the time, when you even take initiatives on your own employers appreciate that you have a learning attitude or learning willingness, and that is taken positively most of the time. So start with your self analysis and decide. Because you have a very long question, so let me read it quickly. Many of us have senior executive in our LinkedIn network, but we really engage with them beyond the initial connection. But we really, yeah. In your experience, what is the most effective and respectful way to approach such professionals, particularly if we want to express that we are open to new challenges and believe our expertise could add unique and valuable contribution to their organization? Do you think structure and proactive networking strategy like this can truly open doors? I would advise you based on my own experience. And of course, there could be different solutions as well. But my experience is that in the beginning of my experience with LinkedIn, I invested a lot. I was very aggressively trying to increase my followers or my first level connections. I was trying to add uh, things which would really promote my position and make me more look authentic and thought leader. So, and this was based on my motivation to really establish myself as an entrepreneur for the CFO Academy. So I did a lot of work. What I realized after that, once I crossed certain thresholds, I became so attractive for outside world that I never had any problem connecting with anyone. 2 years ago, we had an AI conference in Dubai, and there were some challenges finding the speaker. So I took it on me. I said, okay, I'll find it out. I tried to approach, I would say, 15 to 20 potential speakers through my LinkedIn profile. I didn't know anyone, but I started to look from the Sales Navigator, find right people. And then I approached them that, look, I'm so and so. I introduced myself and I'm looking for a speaker. Would you like to take that opportunity? Out of 15, 20, I was able to fetch 8, 9 speakers. They actually came in the conference without any compensation. They delivered the speech, and now we are a good connection with them. So you need to see that before you asking someone of any favor or value, what you could offer back to them, and that should be reflected in your LinkedIn profile. If your LinkedIn profile is really very dry, like less than 500 connections and there is not much, and you're trying to approach some CEO for the CEO, don't expect any reply unless there is a very strong reason. So that would be my suggestion. But as I said, that there could be other solutions as well. What is the best approach for people living outside UAE to get jobs in UAE? I'll be honest that it's not easy because there are already a lot of job seekers in UAE, and it becomes a challenge or difficult for hiring managers to entertain people from outside if there is already enough talent available in the local community. So, but it's possible. What you could do that is start developing a network in UAE as if you are in UAE, and you could do that virtually because nowadays all networking is done or most of the networking done virtually. So you try to be connect with people who are living in UAE, and through that you could connect with or find out some opportunities. And again, for the new opportunity, they also start interviewing remotely, so nothing is on a stake. But networking is the most important thing you could do to get any position in a place where you are not physically there. What three most specific skills you would recommend to develop for next 10 years of senior finance? My take, number one, is strategy, because strategy is long term. AI, technological things have a limited life. So you could talk about when there is a season, but it's not durable. A strategy is very durable. So a strategy is one thing. Number two, relationship and personal brand. So I would put relationship and personal brand because these, if you already have a good relationship and a good personal brand, these help you with your communication or your influence. So if you are influential, as we have learned in our own leadership model, and you have something to talk about business at the strategic level, that's the best bet. That's the best of combination you could create for your purposes. What the short-term courses which will support for this knowledge achievement? I would say that try to make a habit to regularly look at Coursera. You can very high quality contents and program designed by the top business school faculty. That's one. But you need to spend some time because those are very detailed and long courses. If you want to learn something very quickly, then LinkedIn Learning is another source. Very quickly, if you want to learn a new topic in half an hour, that's possible on LinkedIn Learning. I would recommend these two sources. And of course, the educational videos on YouTube. There is a tons of videos you can find over there on any topic. Hamad, what is one thing you would suggest on building a personal brand as a thought leader? So, Ahmad, this really depends upon your own interest. Anybody, first you need to evaluate that what are the topics and the areas which really interest you, and everybody has few things like that. And if it is related to your career, it's even better. So once you identify that what is one thing which really fits very well in your career and you have some passion about it, then you start developing the knowledge. And the more you learn, the more you get involved into it. And that is how it becomes your personal brand. But it should be one or maximum two things, not more than that. Because if you try to become expert on more than two or three things, it's diluted. So rather than just limit yourself to one or two, and I think that should work very well. As I said, most important thing, your passion. If you have a passion, you will find time, you will find sources to get yourself exposed and utilize. Khalid Saab, leadership and communication skills are required at sea level. What activities we can undertake to build these skills? I would say communication is really the key because communication is the only activity which connects you with the world. So you can learn a lot of things in terms of knowledge, in terms of skills, but nothing is useful or nothing matters unless you communicate. So communication is main thing, and for the communication, I think you need to have a network. So again, uh, if you don't have much network, would be very difficult to connect with C-level executives directly, right? So you need to make a ladder. Try to connect a group of networkers with at your level, and from them try to make a next step to a higher level. And once you so it goes hand in hand. You need to develop something for the long term. So you look heavier, or you look a heavyweight with good network around you, good knowledge, good other things, and that is how people get attracted. So you need to ensure that it's not only one way, that you are chasing them to get some value and there is nothing from you to offer, but start developing something so you look a little heavier, and then people would be attracted to you as well. So that would be the answer to communication. You need good level people to practice your communication, which will shift us from the red ocean to blue ocean. All the things I've been talking about for more than half an hour. Hamad sir is also here, and our teacher. Yeah, Hamad is a good friend and very knowledgeable on these things I'm talking about. So it's really honor that he's here, listening to me. Okay, I think that covers the question. So in the last 10 minutes, I would like to show you something more. So I've covered the Blue Ocean framework and the related to the career network, how to use that framework for career management and planning. Uh, I was thinking that how could many professionals use that approach? So two things. I think I have in my career, I have done many of these things I'm trying to explain to you or teach you. At that time, I was not really very conscious that this is part of the Blue Ocean framework. But once I learned through the Blue Ocean framework and I relate, I got the this idea that it is very much applicable to the careers as well. And now with this Blue Ocean framework, I could explain everything in a structure. Previously, it was difficult to explain people that talk about the personal branding, become thought leader, and how would it help to the career management or brand positioning. But now I could talk with a structure because Blue Ocean has provided that structure. So that started to think that how could I help more and more people. And again, as you know, my job is to help you, introduce you in these webinars, but then offer a course where we could work together and you make tangible improvement in a certain period of time. So the biggest advantage of really going through a program or course is that it provides you a structure. I think you're all smart enough to understand what I have been talking about for 1 hour, and you have good intention to do it, but probably you will never find time to do it yourself, right? But once you enroll into that program, 6 months, 12 months, it assures you that you will make some real progress during that period of time. So that's the main advantage or main deliverable of the program is. So I started to think that how could I really make this Blue Ocean career path framework into a course so more people could really learn. So it's again not final, it's tentative, somewhere in the work in progress. And I started to put down my thoughts. So I created a curriculum for 24 weeks because I think less than that, it would not work. What we are trying to hear is really, it's not about knowledge development, as you could understand. It's about results, actual results outside you, driven by you. So this course, or tentative course I'm showing you, designed for mid-career finance professionals, there will be weekly sessions. Like a standard, we do 2 hours a week session. So 2 hours we'll sit together, 1 hour some contents, lectures, 1 hour practical work, and then it would ultimately result in some creation of the toolkits, the community, the templates. So all type of results would be there. Outcome would be that you have a strategic career roadmap, a very, not only a document, but a very deep clarity about your career roadmap. Where are you, where you want to go, and what you need to do. Executive branding, very important, and promotion career pivots, because career, it's not that when you lose a job, you need to find another job, you start your efforts. There has to be an ongoing structure, ongoing. My father worked for the same company for 40 years. He didn't know anything about the career management or job search or job management or resume or CV. But nowadays, the environment we are talking about, everyone must have a good learning and understanding how to manage their careers, how to find a job. You are expected to search for job 10 to 15 times in your career, but we are not taught that anywhere, right? So it's something new. So you need to really do a lot of things proactively. Okay, so this is a little background, and what I want to show you, as I said, this would be a 6-month program. So month by month, every month we will have some theme or focus. Starting with the first month, discovery and reframe. So that's for you to really start learning about yourself. Redefine your career purpose and positioning, what you want to achieve, your personal SWOT analysis and vision setting. We try to align vision with your life vision so there is no confusion. Career audits, what you have done so far, what are you doing, and identity alignment and Blue Ocean foundation. So first month we would establish a very solid foundation. Second month, design your strategy, career strategy. So build your unique value proposition, very important. We all live in this, we all talk about resume, but very few people would think about the value proposition. What is your value proposition? Map your ERRC grid, because it should be based on that. So maximize or optimize your value proposition through the ERRC grid. Craft a strategic career canvas, like the chart I showed you, what need to increase, what need to decrease or eliminate, and then identify high value, I don't know what that word is hidden before before my button. So that would be the second month. We are basically making progress, designing our strategy. This is mindset, clarity. This is strategy. Third month, we are now building your visibility. Visibility means that LinkedIn branding revamp. 90% of people are underutilizing LinkedIn. Content plan and storytelling. So during this course, we'll ask you to start writing something on LinkedIn in our supervision. So you will start developing your contents and expand your influence network. And then we would have a project like run a 30-day visibility sprint on LinkedIn. So it's a practical, it's not really theory or some courses we are doing for knowledge development. We are basically holding your hand to let you drive, how to drive and have a good control on your car. Fourth month is strategic growth execution, stakeholder mapping. So you have to have few people around you which are more powerful and influencing. Internal project design and pitching. Mid-program career checkpoint. So by that time we are at the midpoint. And communication for leadership. We'll talk about and identify opportunities for you to practice it in a very practical environment. Fifth month, leadership transformation. So now we are really getting close to the results. Your thought leadership model, your strategic mentoring and sponsorship. And again, we are talking about actual people here outside besides you. Simulation-based practice, CEO, CFO mindset development. So even if you are targeting CFO, you have to have a mindset of CEO. That's what will take care of that. Last month, career pivot and reinvention. Prototype career pivots, that would be different for everyone. A career positioning campaign. So we'll together we'll try to help you position yourself, if not internally, at least externally on the LinkedIn. Interview strategy, and then finally you graduate and you become the part of this Blue Ocean career path alumni. So this means that I am very confident that you started to see some results during this 6 months. If not, then your journey doesn't end. You join the alumni and you continue with the alumni. So we'll have a follow-up program for the alumni at much lighter level where you could continue with your journey until and unless you reach what you're looking for. So this is the work in progress content I want to share with you. What I like you to do for me now, if you think that you would be interested in this program, just say in the chat box, yes. Because I think the most important thing in everybody's mind would be, what would be the fee for this program, right? Well, it will change your life, change your career. So fee should not be the primary focus, but still I understand that matters. And I would say that fee would really depend upon the number of the people who are joining this program, because it's a capacity allocation. If there are more people, of course, there would be a lower number, less people, higher number. So I have no idea at this point of time. I only need to see how many of you are interested. If you're interested, just mention in the chat box yes, and I will get back to you in a week's time about the further progress on this project. This is for me. Okay, so I have 2-3 minutes left. Let me see if there is any feedback. Okay, yeah, just ensure that you mention yes in the chat box so I could count you, and then I'll get back to you. I'm really excited about this project or course, because this is something very, very practical. And I want to challenge myself that working with a group of people like you and really create some results in your career progress, because all this is possible. Start with a mindset. Okay, folks, so I want to thank you very much. As I said, that it's a good start. I don't know how many people are here, but whoever is here, that's a good start. There are enough people that we could start working on this together. And I'll let you know what is the next step, or maybe we'll have another webinar like this, or maybe a meeting with some interactive communication, but I'll let you know. Okay, folks, so this is LinkedIn Live. I think if you want to review the playback, you can check the LinkedIn again, and I think replay or recording would be available soon after I finish this. So you can review the contents if you want to. Okay, folks. So thank you very much for your time and attention. And I'm looking forward to work with you going forward. Thank you. Bye now.